Well, what's up, guys? It's Tom. Wanted to do a quick tutorial video on how this new STRAT MarketScanner website works. Hopefully I can get some feedback, feature requests, and continue to improve the site. So I'm going to try and burn through this as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, my DMs are always open. You can send me a message on Twitter or Discord and let me know what you think. So starting off, when you go to app.stratalerts.com, the website up here, app.stratalerts.com, you'll land on this market overview page. At the top, there's a refresh countdown. This page refreshes every 60 seconds and updates information that has changed. There is a banner. If there is high impact news, you can click on it. It takes you down to the bottom here where you can see news events. You can filter these by low. I think the low news event already passed. Medium, high. I just created a high dummy alert here because there were no upcoming events. Also shows you this event risk countdown, dummy market close expiry. It'll give you a countdown until this news event. You can click on this and it'll jump down to this economic calendar at the bottom. There's an indices panel. It shows you the 4 indices, what they're doing on the day, week, month, quarter, year. I may add some intraday to this. I'm not sure yet. Overnight gap context shows you what the futures have done overnight. This will stop updating when NYSE opens. It's currently tracking in real time, but I've already pushed the bug fix for that, so it'll stop at 9:30. You'll see what the overnight session did in futures. Sectors, we have leaders and laggards. This percentage is not the overnight change. This is a metric that's calculated based on daily breadth score. You can hover over this tooltip and read about it. There's also more information on the sectors page. If you click this, it will take you to the sectors page. I will cover that in a minute. You have the top gappers. You can also click this and go to the gappers page, which I will review shortly. Scanner Pulse is something I'm experimenting with. It shows you the change in triggered setups and delta over a 30-minute window, number of simultaneous breaks, trigger velocity. This is something I just added this morning, so I will be experimenting with it a bit more to give you an idea of intraday directional bias. Some quick stats on active tickers, active setups. These are all clickable, in-force setups, potential outside bars, potential threes, as we call them in the strat. You've got a current candle snapshot, which shows you the day, week, month, quarter, year, and whether we've got 1, 2 up, 2 down, or 3 candles. I may add intraday to this as well. When I started the initial version of the scanner, I was not tracking intraday anything. So now that that code has been added, I may include intraday data throughout the site a bit. Market breadth, same sort of thing. It shows you current candle distribution. So on the daily, you can see 9% inside bar, 38% 2 up, 28% 2 down, 25% outside bar. So as the day goes on, as the day, week, month, quarter, and year continue, these metrics will shift and they will give you an idea about what direction the market is headed. Again, this may be updated to include intraday data as well so that you can quickly see what's happening on a 15, 30, 60, 4-hour time frame. Again, it just kind of tells you where the market's moving. Daily breadth essentially shows you the direction that the market is moving. We can see candles transition from inside bars to 2 ups, 2 downs, or 3s over time. There's an economic events calendar at the bottom. You can filter by low, medium, high. By default, it just shows medium, high market events. And this can be ignored, tier 1 setups down here. It's something I'm going to work on later. You can browse setups, browse sectors. There's an AI search here. So for example, if I said all in-force setups on the weekly time frame, you'll see time frame here has been selected as weekly, only in-force. And if we scroll down, these are all the weekly in-force setups. So if you'd rather just type out what you're looking for, you can do that. This is experimental, could return invalid filters. I'm still testing, and it may stop working if API credits are exhausted, but I don't think that's going to be an issue yet. Moving on, setups, pretty self-explanatory. At the top, we've got time frames. We've got filters for full time frame continuity and pivot machine guns. You can click these filters, and it will filter out. You can see here on the left, all of these are full time frame continuity, day to the year. You can also select pivot machine guns, and you'll see a pivot machine gun count on these, which is just 5 or more lower highs or higher lows. I did notice an issue here. One of them said it was more than it actually was, so I'm going to look at that. But anyway, you can set filters here for all time frames, maybe just futures, specific setups that you want, and then you can search and then save as Tom's list. Right, save that, and then you will have a filter here. You can just quickly click this and it will apply defaults. If you don't want it anymore, you can just click the little X button and erase it. There are predefined ticker groups here for the Mag 7, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, ETFs, a bunch of themes, and then you have sectors at the bottom. If you click metals and miners, for example, and hit apply, it's just going to show you metals and miners in this list of setups. So that's kind of convenient. You got symbol contained. You can apply multiple symbols. You can pick specific time frames or all, market, ETF, future stocks, different setups. IF is enforced. There's a little tool tips here to explain what some of these filters are. Potential 3, all of them, or just failed 2 up, 2 down. If it's a hammer shooter, current candle. You can set a limit if you'd like. This button hides continuations, so typically we don't care about those, but if for some reason you are interested, you'll see down in this setup list here, CT, continuation, enforced continuation. Wait, it says enforced continuation. Yeah, if it's continuation, it's going to be enforced, and that will label it as such. We've got ATR down here in the setup page, relative volume, market, listed. C2 is the first candle in the strat setup. C1 is the second candle. CC is the current candle. You can click on time frames here and it will pull up a trading view chart. Unfortunately, this data is delayed. There's no way around it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this or not. Might be convenient just for higher time frames, but intraday it's kind of useless because there's a 15-minute delay. If you click on a symbol, it will give you some statistics and company information, website, some stats that I need to make sure are actually updated and current. This data was populated when I initially created this project. So there are some things I still need to review, but from what I can tell, the site is pretty usable. If you guys find issues, there's a feedback button here that you can click on and create a new post if you want. There will be a roadmap at some point, and there's a change log that I'm going to be updating weekly that will explain new features and stuff like that. So if you have any problems, issues, questions, please post them here. Anything else on setups page? Yeah, this walkthrough filter. So if you search for setups on the daily time frame, let's say we want to find a day like a 2-2 on the day in force, and then we can add a step and say I also want to check the week, and I want the current candle to be a 2 up, right? And you can search for that. So these are all daily setups where the month is a 2 up. So you can add steps or filters for multiple conditions across various time frames. If you don't want that, you can just click remove. You can always just click the reset button to completely reset search. And I think that's about it for setups. Dominoes is a work in progress. It says so at the top here that it's experimental. Some filters are for testing, so I'm not explaining what they do, like max trigger gap. Minimum chain is pretty self-explanatory. You'll sometimes see like a 4-hour to day to week. So that's minimum chain, but these I'm not going to get into because I'm using them to essentially test. But this will show you high probability setups where you've got domino trades. Sectors page gives you sector information. It shows you market bias and what's really moving and what isn't. You can see XLE over here on the right. We've got a lot of years 2 up, quarters 2 up, months 2 up, weeks 2 up. Today, not a lot of 2 ups, but strong directional movement, bullish. If you click on view, you'll get a list of all of the companies here, and it will show you what the candles are on day, week, month, quarter, year. Again, I might add intraday here, but for now, it's just daily time frame and up. You can also click this star, add these to favorites. Oh, you can do that on setups too, by the way. If you like a ticker, you can just click it. It'll add it to your favorites list, which is right here. You can search for tickers under your favorites. You can also add a list of favorites if you want. One other thing I forgot to mention here under setups, on the top right up here where it says copy and export, if you have a list of setups and you hit copy, it'll copy all the ticker symbols to your clipboard and you can paste them into another app like TradingView. If you export, it will download a CSV text file that you can use to import somewhere else. Highly requested feature for the original scanner, and it has been added to this one. So jumping back to sectors, there are some panels here that show different information about sector trends and directions, leaders, laggards. There's a description about how it's calculated. I haven't spent a ton of time really drilling down to find out how useful this is. I mean, it's going to tell you what sectors are performing well and which sectors are not performing very well. But there are a couple different variations here. I'm not sure which one I like best. I just left them all. You can explore these and see what you like and what you don't. Sector breadth detail down here. You can view a particular sector like XLE, and if we look at the day, you can see where candles are moving. A lot of 2 downs today, but over the week and the month, we went from a lot of inside bars to a lot of 2 ups. And on the quarter, same thing. Very few 2 downs, inside bars dropping, 2 ups increasing over time. So XLE would be a sector that you'd want to pay attention to, possibly if you're a swing trader, something like that. This bottom panel is predefined groups. It's listed as experimental, but it's not anymore. You can sort by group. You can click this button and sort by 2 ups or 2 downs here. And if you click any one of these rows, it'll pop up a list of the tickers, what they're doing on the day, week, month, quarter, year. You can also add them to favorites. So we've got themes listed, sectors, and ETFs. So this is all the ETFs that I'm tracking. Moving along, alerts. This is real time. You'll see connection live here. That means we are connected to WebSocket, and it is going to push out alerts as they fire. The direction, the outcome is listed as pending. These will update and tell you, like this one hit, this 213 hit target, 212 hit target. Some of them will list failed. Some of them will show up as expired. But you can just say, hey, I only have about 60-minute, 4-hour, 12-hour day, these time frames. The window shows you the look back period. So if you load this page, I can just go to 15-minute and apply. It's only going to show me things that have triggered in the last 15 minutes. If you make this 60 minutes or 120 minutes or 240, the list is just going to extend and show you things that have triggered in the past. Not very helpful, but it's there. You can filter by current candle, direction, outcome if you want, market. You can click this favorites button and just filter by your favorites. Nice way to pop this up on a screen, add a list of favorites, and see what triggers and have it send you push notifications, which I'll get to in a second. Also at the top here, this is kind of hidden but important, simultaneous breaks. If you click it, this will track simultaneous breaks across futures. I wish there was something happening now. This basically shows you when ES, NQ, RTY, and YM are all triggering at the same time. It requires a minimum of 2, but it will show you 2 of 4, 3 of 4, or 4 of 4 triggering, and then what symbols have triggered and what time frame. You can also get push notifications for these, which is awesome. Gappers, very simple. It's a gappers list. There are no filters. It's just a list sorted by gap down or gap up percent. You can change the ordering here if you want, but that's about it. I did add some functionality today that should identify kickers, which is a specific setup related to gappers that is very powerful. And if there are kickers, I am probably going to display them on the main market overview page because, again, they're quite powerful. You know, you can also star setups here if you'd like, add the favorites, bing, bang, boom. Tickers is just a list of all the tickers that are available if you want to add them to favorites or just see what's available. If you click the ticker link, it'll take you to the setups page. One thing you can do is request a ticker. So if there's a ticker missing from this list, you can just type it in here, click request. I'll take a look at it and add it to our system. Favorites, self-explanatory. Kind of briefly touched on this earlier. Just list your favorite tickers. You can remove things if you want. You can paste in a comma separated list or a list of tickers separated by spaces and add them in bulk. So if you have something like TradingView, you export a list of tickers, you can just paste them in here and add them all at once. You don't have to go play hide and seek to scroll through a long list of tickers and click stars. You can just bulk paste them. Metrics, this you guys don't have, but will in the future. This is tracking setups that are resolved, win rate, expectancy, average win, average loss. It's tracking multiple strat setups across many time frames and tracking statistics on them. I haven't really worked on it yet, but starting to collect basic data so that we can identify high probability setups. Feedback, already reviewed. Please use this if you have a feature request or find a bug. Help, I haven't done much work on this. Very basic information about the strat, setup filters, how things are kind of calculated. One thing I want to point out, there are shortcuts at the bottom. So if you are anywhere in the app and you just type / you can quick search for like MSFT, MVDA, and Apple, and boom, you'll get all those setups. F toggles favorites on the setups page, T toggles full time frame continuity, P toggles pivot machine gun, and I toggles enforce. Slash works globally anywhere. If you click on alerts and you click slash, you can do a search for anything. Status is an admin page. You guys won't see it, but I'll show it to you quickly. It gives me all the information about what's going on. WebSocket, if it's streaming, if it's connecting, how many symbols, how many subscriptions we're subscribed to from data providers. Seeding information, in case something breaks and needs to reload, it regenerates all the data it needs to. Performance, it tells me how long it's taking to do certain functions in the pipeline. Processing, data here, performance health, if anything is missing, and then gappers, which is paused currently because the market is open. We're not in pre-market. Tells me how many gappers, how many gapping up, down, largest gap, last trade, stuff like that. So under my profile, you can ignore this billing stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to charge, but everything is free currently. More importantly, under push notifications, you can configure pushover and or Telegram to send you alerts. At the bottom, there are instructions on setting up Telegram and linking it to the scanner. Same thing with pushover. Pushover app, it explains what to do. Pushover gives you a 30-day free trial, and then there's a one-time purchase price of $4.99. Pushover charges, I would have to pay for message credits. They give me 10,000 a month for free. Pushover is kind of limited. It is a really nice, just basic, simple app. But the reason I added Telegram is because of the message credit thing. So I may keep both. I'll probably keep both and include a certain number of credits for free. And then you would have to buy a message pack that would include like 1,000 messages, maybe for like $5 or something. So it wouldn't be expensive. I'm not trying to make money on message credits. Not really trying to make money on this much at all. But you can set filters here. So if you want alerts on all markets, stocks, or futures, you can pick alert timeframes. I don't really care about intraday stuff. I really just care about the bigger timeframes. I don't want a million alerts a day. The only thing we are alerting on currently is favorites. So if you want alerts, add those tickers to your favorites, pick what timeframes you care about, and you will get alerts for them. Under alert types, you can choose whether or not you want to be alerted on continuations. If you want to be alerted on simultaneous breaks, how many of the futures need to be breaking at the same time in the same window. So 204, 304, or all of them. 304 is usually a good balance there. What time frames you care about simultaneous breaks on. Now that I'm looking at this, I probably will get rid of anything non-intraday. Nobody cares about weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly simultaneous breaks. I don't see how they're going to be very useful, but maybe. The other thing you can do here is snooze. If you are stepping away, going to bed in pushover, you can turn on a window where it won't send you alerts. Telegram doesn't offer that, but obviously you can set your phone to do not disturb mode. But let's say you need a break, you're stepping away, you don't want to be alerted. You can pick a preset here, or you can enter custom minutes. So you don't want to be bothered for 90 minutes. Boom. You just hit snooze. It'll tell you it's snoozed until you can hit resume to resume. There's also a snooze button at the top right of the website, so you can access from anywhere and gives you the same options. But if you're on the overview page, boom, it's already here. You don't have to go to my profile and then push notifications and then go down here to snooze. It's just bang, one click, pop up. Email and two-factor authentication. These are just to update email settings and use an authenticator if you want. And that's about it. Dark light mode up here. I don't use light mode. You have to be psychotic to do that, but it's an option. I think that's about it. One of the most helpful things for me is under push notifications, setting these simultaneous break alerts. Because if you are watching futures, trading futures, which I do, or even if you're trading Mag 7 stock, it's helpful to know where futures are moving. If you're in a long trade and you get a simultaneous break alert on the 15-minute time frame that futures are breaking up and you're bullish, that's helpful to know. You can also just pull up the page and under alerts here and watch simultaneous break events as they occur. Whew, that was a lot. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I have been working on this since about February 5th, just completely obsessed. So I would like to get some feedback, and I am going to keep building. Catch you guys in the next one.